Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to talk about why every VB WRX owner needs to upgrade their exhaust. We're going to take a look at the stock Axelback part of the exhaust, and we're going to talk about some of the benefits of actually upgrading the exhaust and why you might want to do it and why you really should do it. So we're going to talk about three things in this video specifically about upgrading your exhaust. We're going to talk about the look, the sound, and the physical weight saving. So all three things are big aspects of upgrading your exhaust. So first off, we're gonna get it out of the way. This is the stock Axelback muffler. You know, this is what comes Axelback on your car, the tips in the muffler. And if you delete this muffler and go with an aftermarket exhaust that doesn't have as much excess on the tips, has a smaller flange, it's not gonna weigh as much. Now, I don't wanna quote myself on the exact weights, but my guess is that installed, depending on the exhaust, you know, I'm doing a little bit of averaging here, depending on the Axelback that you go with, you're probably saving just around 40 to 60 pounds. You know, removing the Axelback portion of the exhaust and upgrading it to an Axelback exhaust or a catback, you're probably in the savings, you know, let's say 40 pounds, 50 pounds, in that range, actually probably more. I'd say I'm gonna go with the 40 to 60 pounds on average, right? I'm trying to do an average of different Axelbacks that are a little bit different. Now you might ask yourself, oh, that's not that much. It's actually a lot. When people start gutting the interior of their car when they're doing like racing and stuff, they're actually cutting out like, you know, 40 or 50 pounds would be a great cutout. And that actually drops, like when you think about it, like let's say it were 60 pounds. 60 pounds over the weight of the car might sound insignificant, but it's actually pretty similar to doing something like a small performance mod without any tuning. So while you're not gonna actually feel the difference, the more weight that you can reduce on the car as you grow the power of the vehicle will make a difference. And it's like the age-old joke of the fastest way to upgrade your car and get faster is to lose weight yourself. And that is, you know, that is true at some level because weight savings do have a large impact. You know, if you could reduce the weight of the car by 200 pounds, let's say, that makes a substantial difference in the power to weight ratio. It's substantial. The next one is actually a big piece for me. It is the way it looks at the rear of the car. I think it makes a massive difference in the way the rear of the WRX looks. I think it's more aggressive. You lose the profile of the mufflers when you're looking at the back of your car. If you're driving a stock exhaust and someone's looking at the back of your car from another car, they can see the mufflers, and I think that looks awful. On top of that, they're pretty small tips from the factory, and they're not exactly perfectly centered. I prefer to go with large 4-inch double wall tips to fill that exhaust cutout cavity. I think it looks really good, especially when the tips of the focal part and you don't have any underlying muffler underneath it. It looks clean, and often if you get a staggered setup, even when you're not just behind it, when you're walking around the car, they look much more aggressive and they fit the car a lot better. Bigger tips go a long way. They create a focal point on the rear of the car, and they really make the rear of the car come together. And last, probably the most important piece, is it lets your car breathe. Does it add more power? Yeah, it adds more power, but what does it really do? It makes it feel like you're driving with more power. You get the sound, you get sound input, and I have to say with the WRX platform, whether you're driving a VA or a VB WRX, shifting based on sound is so much more fulfilling than shifting based on visual RPM. And when you get really good at it and you start to really understand what your car sounds like at different RPMs, it makes the shifting and driving experience a lot easier and more enjoyable. You also get to hear what the car naturally wants to sound like, and it makes it a little bit more of a sporty experience in my opinion. Well, hopefully you guys are convinced at this point. I think those are three massive pieces about why you might want an exhaust for yourself. Right now I'm running just an Axelback. The mid pipe to create the full catback is ordered, but on back order, and we should have it soon. I am gonna go with a resonator on my mid pipe, which I know is gonna be an unpopular opinion, but the cold starts on this car are so loud that I just wanted to have a resonated mid pipe. Cut down on a little drone, even though this Axelback doesn't have too much drone, should just make it a better experience. But we will see that install shortly on this channel, and otherwise I'll see you guys in the next video.